Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. Continuing on NFL Week 2, we got the Jets and Titans, both teams coming off disappointing Week 1s. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to the SWUS. The SWUS. SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS.
All right, like I said, we got the Jets on the road in Tennessee here. Titans catching 3.5 points at home, and the total's down to 40.5 now. This one opened up at 43.5, so it's definitely been bet down. So let's get into this one. We'll start with some head-to-head history. Jets have had the better of this team, 3-1 in their last 4 matchups against the Titans, 4-0 against the spread. But I mean, they haven't played since 2021, and this is dating all the way back to 2014, so who cares, honestly? But let's get into it. Breece Hall didn't do much on the ground last week. 16 carries, 54 yards against the 49ers, just 3.4 yards per carry. Now, if you pull up the 49ers defensive numbers against the run from last year, you might think that's pretty concerning. How was Breece Hall not able to run the ball in this San Francisco defense? They weren't even good against the run last year. But we talked about it before the game. Now that Steve Wilks is gone from San Francisco and they have a new DC there, we expect this run defense to be top 5 again like it was the previous 3 years. Whatever Steve Wilks was trying to do with this defense didn't really work in terms of defending the run. So even though these numbers from last year show the 49ers as a below average run defense, we know they're not. That's an elite defensive line, and that's going to be a top 5 run defense this year. So I'm not too concerned with the Breece Hall numbers. And I'm also not overly concerned with the lack of push on the offensive line here. Like we talked about, the Jets offensive line massively upgraded, 3 new starters on that offensive line. After week 1, just 24th in run blocking grade, -3 yards before contact. So the offensive line was not getting pushed at all in this game. Jets offense was extremely predictable, especially in the first half. Aaron Rodgers targeted Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall 8 times, just 3 targets to all of the other receivers on the Jets combined. So yeah, pretty predictable offense here. I know Lazard ended up putting up a nice stat line, 89 yards and 2 touchdowns, but one of those touchdowns was on an offsides. Aaron Rodgers got somebody to jump, and the other one was on like the final play of the game in garbage time. So this is not really indicative of how Allen Lazard played at all. And now they're matched up against a Titans defense that looked really good. I mean, I know the Titans got the loss last week, but certainly wasn't the fault of the defense. They allowed just 148 total yards in the game to the Bears. 148 total yards. The Bears were 2 of 13 on third downs. It didn't score a single offensive touchdown. They look really good. I also like the way their secondary matches up against the Jets here. Snead on one side, Cheeto on the other side against Garrett Wilson and Allen Lazard. That should be tough. I mean, Garrett Wilson is a monster against man coverage, but it's Snead. That might be the best man coverage corner in the NFL right there. So as far as depth charts on paper, they match up pretty well against what the Jets are trying to do here. Also, the Titans were an elite run defense last year. They allowed just 3.8 yards per carry as a team. That was 3rd in the NFL. Pretty much top 10 in most advanced metrics defending the run. So if you're thinking, oh, Breece Hall had a rough game against the 49ers, but now things get easy, I'm not so sure about that. The Bears were a pretty good rushing offense last year. Against the Titans, just 22 carries, 84 yards on the ground, 3.8 yards per carry. Here are the Bears' rushing numbers from last season. I mean, this was a top 10 rushing offense. They couldn't do shit on the ground against the Titans. So although I'm not personally panicking about the Jets offense, I mean, that was a really rough opener on the road in San Francisco, maybe the best team in the NFL. The offensive line had never played together before. Aaron Rodgers has never played on the team before. I'm not panicking about the Jets offense based on that. It's not going to get any easier here because the Titans defense is very good and very undervalued. So I don't love the matchup for the Jets offense. We'll find some spots to take shots on the Jets offense, but this does not appear to be one of them. Now on the other side, let's talk about Will Levis, and man, I had a winning NFL Week 1, so I'm not overly pissed about it, but Will Levis cost me, man. Titans +4 was a really tough beat. Will Levis practically threw a chest pass to the Bears corner for a pick 6. Wow. Whatever. I'm not going to trash him. It was frustrating. Here are his numbers: 52.5 passer rating, 3 turnovers, 59.4% completions, and the matchup for him on paper looked pretty good. Will Levis plays a lot better from a clean pocket. The Bears had a terrible pass rush last year, but the Bears were able to generate a pass rush in this game. Will Levis was pressured on 40% of his dropbacks in week 1. That's solid. The Bears were active in the pass rush. So will the Jets be able to do the same? I mean, it's tough to say because you look at the Jets numbers from last year, they were able to consistently generate pressure. They were 4th in the NFL. They were 4th in adjusted sack rate. But if you watch that Monday Night Football game, you know that the Jets defensive front was not generating pressure. I mean, maybe a little bit in the first quarter, but from the second quarter on, Brock Purdy had all day to throw. He did whatever he wanted, made the Jets secondary look pretty bad on account of Brock Purdy literally was just chilling in the pocket. So as far as the Jets pass rush goes, I'm not really sure how I feel about them. And it's not like the 49ers are some elite pass protecting offensive line. They have a great offensive line, but they were much better creating space in the run game than they were keeping Brock Purdy clean. They actually had some pass blocking problems last year. So they just dominated the Jets' defensive front here. Now, what the Bears did to generate some pressure on Will Levis is they sent the blitz. Will Levis against the blitz in week 1, 4 of 7, just 11 passing yards and a pick. So he was terrible when the Bears blitzed him. But here's the thing, the Jets don't really blitz. Last year, they were 31st in blitz rate, and we didn't see a ton of it in week 1. Jets are not a defense that send extra rushers often. Look, there's no way I'm going to tell you that Will Levis is going to make throws on the Jets secondary, but as far as keeping him protected in the pocket, I don't think it's crazy to say they're able to. I mean, the Jets pass rush, like I said, most of that game against the 49ers did not look effective at all. And as far as trying to run the ball, I mean, Tennessee last year, the rushing numbers were pretty average, 14th in yards per carry, 13th in EPA, 18th in DVOA. Jets defensive line on paper was pretty good against the run last year, 9th in adjusted line yards, 14th in run defense grade. Certainly the edge here against the Titans offensive line, which was below average in run blocking. But remember, just like the Jets, the Titans made major upgrades to their offensive line, and they look solid running the football in week 1. 26 carries, 140 yards, 5.4 yards per carry on the Bears, who, by the way, were a great run defense last year. Bears were 3rd in the NFL, allowing just 3.8 yards per carry, top 10 in every major metric as far as defending the run. Titans ran all over the Bears. So after seeing what Jordan Mason just did to the Jets, he ran all over them. 28 carries, 147 yards, 5.3 yards per carry. I'm not so sure the Jets can stop the Titans' run game either. I mean, look at the time of possession battle for Monday Night Football. 38-40 to 21-20. Titans should be able to run the ball a little bit and move the chains. Now, are they able to capitalize on these drives and get the ball in the end zone with Will Levis at quarterback? I'm going to say probably not. But as far as keeping the Jets offense off the field, I think they'll be able to do that, which is why I bet the under. Unfortunately, the number I got it at is way gone. I got the under at 43.5 at open. I actually bet the under before the Monday Night Football game even happened. So I'm holding a really nice number here. But to be honest, even at 40.5, my pick for this game would still be the under. So I think this is going to be super low scoring. I think the Titans are going to run the ball, try to keep the ball out of Will Levis's hands and keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands at the same time. So yeah, expect the clock to be rolling. I don't really trust either offense to score consistently here. So give me the under in this one. If you want to see all the bets I currently have open, head over to KyleKirms.com and click on open bets. You'll see a list of every single bet I have open, as well as everyone on the staff here. So head over there if you're interested. And also, when you sign up for Sauce Network Plus, you get access to the Discord and you can participate in the weekly betting league. Live shows: Saturday morning college football 10 a.m. up to kickoff will be live. Sunday morning NFL 11 a.m. up to kickoff. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Let's have ourselves a nice week 2. We were green week 1. Let's keep that rolling. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.